Really, just trying to find anybody that's willing. What's up, man? You support Trump?
Yes, sir.
And how old are you?
25.
And what have I told you that you're batshit insane for supporting Trump?
I mean, every teach his own. Everyone has their own opinion.
Right. So why do you support him?
I don't know. I just feel like the immigration thing is a good thing.
Oh, okay. Like mass deportation is a good thing.
Yes.
Okay. So mass deportation will reduce our GDP growth by 1.1 trill through 1.7 trill per year. And that's a good thing?
Why is it going to reduce the GDP?
Because undocumented immigrants are more likely to participate in the labor force than citizens, so 8.3 million of them work. And when you account for their overall direct contributions and overall productivity, you see that if we were to do mass deportation tomorrow, GDP growth goes down by the figures that I just gave. My more specific source would be the Center in American Progress.
Shouldn't we just try to get more Americans to work?
Okay, so you're saying if we deported and removed all 8.3 million of those undocumented workers, that Americans would fill those job opportunities?
I'm saying we could try to motivate them to work.
Yeah, we already have 8 million open job opportunities as is without the mass deportation, and Americans aren't filling those jobs. So why would we expect anything different for the 8.3 million job opportunities that would be opened up by mass deportation?
I mean, not everybody knows that many jobs are available.
Okay, just like not everybody would know if we were to do mass deportation. I don't really think that's an adequate response there.
What do you mean?
I thought I was clear with what I just said. You're saying not everybody knows that there's job opportunities. So, A, do your research. Okay, if you want a job, it's likely that you're probably going to look for open job opportunities in your area. But B, if not everybody knows about the 8 million job opportunities that already exist, then not everybody would know about the additional 8 million that would open via mass deportation.
Do you want more immigrants to take away jobs from Americans?
Do I want more immigrants to take away jobs from Americans?
Do you want immigrants to take jobs from Americans? Like people that were
immigrants can be American.
I know. I didn't say they couldn't.
So then what question are you asking me?
I just think...
No, what question are you asking? Do I want more undocumented immigrants to take jobs away from Americans?
It doesn't matter if they're documented or undocumented. Just like immigrants, do you agree with immigrants taking jobs away from Americans?
I don't have a preference one way or another. I just think that... Are you going to allow me to finish answering your question? Okay. What the fuck are you doing? Calm down. Let me answer your question. I don't have a preference one way or another. Asking me if I care if there's an immigrant that's working a job compared to a natural U.S.-born citizen working a job, I just don't care. I mean, that's like saying would I rather paint a rock blue or red? I just don't care.
That's not the same thing. No.
Why isn't it the same thing? Why should I have a preference one way or another?
Americans should come first when it comes to job opportunities in America.
Americans, okay, immigrants can be Americans.
All right, that's fine. That's fine, but undocumented ones are getting jobs. See, there are people in America right now, immigrants, undocumented ones, that have jobs and they don't speak English.
Okay.
And it's
right. There is undocumented immigrants in America that work jobs and they don't speak English.
But the job that they have requires them to be able to they're supposed to be able to communicate with people and they don't even speak English.
So if there's a job that requires an individual to speak English, then anybody, including undocumented immigrants that don't speak English, aren't working the job.
No, they are working the job. That's what I'm saying.
Then it doesn't have a requirement for them to speak English.
But it should. If you go to a gas station.
It should.
Yeah. If you live in a country, would you go to Spain or a predominantly Spanish speaking country? Go live there and apply for a job there, and you didn't speak their language. Do you think that that's fine?
Actually, yeah, for sure. If there's a location in Spain,
you don't speak their language.
I'm sure that there's plenty of jobs in Spain where individuals work and they don't have an ability to speak Spanish. Sure, that's fine. Why would I care? There's probably a plethora of job opportunities in Spain where you don't need to speak Spanish. There's probably a plethora of job opportunities in France where you don't need to speak French. There's a plethora of job opportunities in Italy where you don't need to speak Italian. Yeah.
Why would you? I feel like one of the requirements before you come to a country like planning on living there, like you should have to speak that country's language.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't have an official language.
Well, their predominant language.
Their predominant language. Okay, why?
Because that's how you like assimilate to a society. Like
you, wait, that's not true. Wait, I wouldn't. Yeah, wait, so like, wait, so you think in order to assimilate into American society, you have to have an ability to speak English?
I feel like you should.
Okay, so you're saying that is a requirement for assimilation into society?
It should.
Okay, well, yeah. So I mean, so if you were to look at like the millions of immigrants that don't speak English, that live in American society, are productive, have friends, have a family, live in a community, provide to the country, provide to their local economy, pay taxes, and like further this country in a positive direction, you'd say that they aren't assimilated into the society?
They have to stick to their groups. That's how we're broken up as people.
They have to stick to their groups. What do you mean by that?
You just said they're in their own community. Like, they can't branch out because they don't speak any other.
Wait, no, I said they also provide to their own community, like I provide to my own community, like you provide to your own local community. I'm talking about like your town, your city, or your county. I'm not talking about like some barrier to like greater like assimilation. I think that you're misinterpreting me as like somehow advocating for segregation. I don't know what you're saying. No, I just said that they contribute to their local community just like anybody else into this country.
I'm saying it will make more sense if you spoke that country's language. Like, I wouldn't go to Japan and not speak a word of Japanese and try to live there. You know what I mean?
There's so many people that will go to Japan and live there without speaking Japanese. Wait, what?
I feel like there's
so many people that do that. There's so many people that do that. I'm really confused on like what the argument is here. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. So, if 51% of people in this country spoke Spanish, would you be assimilated into American society?
That's not the case, but yeah, I would try to learn Spanish.
So if it was the case, you try.
My dad is actually an immigrant, but the difference between him, the immigrant he is, and the immigrants that are now, is when my dad came to this country, he spoke 4 languages.
Oh, okay. I just don't really see any like good reason to say that it's like bad if they don't speak English. Like I mean, like, do you understand? Like, I think it does make sense. Because America isn't supposed to be, isn't supposed to uphold a standard that everybody has to abide by in order to be considered a part of the society, a part of their community, or assimilated into the culture. You know, like the culture that like in the society of this country is built off of a melting pot of different cultures from around the world, of different customs from around the world, and different languages from around the world. That is like what the fabric of America means, okay? And I mean, you know, this is demonstrated by the domination of America on the global stage, okay, right? It has been this way since the country was formed, and I hope it will continue to be this way, because the diversity that we see in this country, I believe, is integral to the success of this country. And the moment you say otherwise is the moment that you go from being America first to America last, because you place your bigotry and your prejudice over the success of this country. You know, like for instance, undocumented immigrants, as I already pointed out, contribute anywhere from $1 to $2 trillion to the GDP per year, pay over $100 billion in taxes, or more likely to participate in the labor force than natural U.S.-born citizens, and are less likely to commit violent crimes. And you say, even though every single one of those things furthers this country and puts it first, and if we were to remove them all tomorrow, this country would suffer, poverty would go up, the economy would be weaker, we'd be farther up from the center of dominating in global markets, our producers would be less efficient, and crime would skyrocket, and GDP would go down, and our government would have less money to spend on social safety nets because we're no longer collecting taxes from individuals that aren't in the market anymore. You're once again, you're saying that you value your prejudice against non-English speakers, quote unquote, than the success of the country. It's also crazy I have to explain this to you.
I feel like if we just got them out of here, we can try to make Americans see that there are jobs and like advertise that there are jobs in America and make more Americans work. Like, that's a problem to fix.
Right.
Like,
so I've already
not that hard to fix.
Okay, yeah, it's not that hard to fix, but we have 8 million job opportunities today.
Yeah, but
got it. It's
not
not that hard of it. It's not that hard of a thing to fix, says the man.
I mean, people
with a very no, I'm speaking. It's not that very hard to fix, says a man with a very low level of intelligence and seemingly no background in domestic or economic policy. But assuming that if we were to do mass deportation tomorrow, that the day after tomorrow there'd be an American that fills every single one of the job opportunities left via the mass deportation, our economy would. Okay, I'm trying to explain to you concepts of economics. Why are you interrupting me?
Jesus, dude, relax.
Why? I am relaxed. I'm asking you a simple question. Why are you interrupting me while I'm explaiing to you why you're wrong? Do you not want me to explain to you why you're wrong?
I mean, go ahead. Yeah.
This isn't logical anymore. I appreciate you for the galaxy. So, anyways. I've already explained to you why you're wrong. I've already explained to you why, no, it's not the case that we could justifiably assume that American would fill every single job opportunity created via mass deportation tomorrow, because there's already 8 million job opportunities that aren't being filled. But assuming that they could be filled tomorrow, right, our economy would still be less productive, and our GDP would still shrink. The economy would still be weaker, and poverty would still increase. The reason why I say that is because although we'd be able to uphold the same productive capacities on the supply side of things, we'd still have a loss in over 12 million consumers. Okay, because we got to remember, it's not just our productive capacities that make our economy strong. It's also the consumers that buy the goods that those American productive capacities create. And you can't just replace the 12 million consumers that would be lost from a mass deportation, meaning that all things considered, our economy would still be weaker if every single one of those jobs could be filled.
So you're just saying we need more people to work?
No, I'm saying that if we did a mass deportation tomorrow and had an American fill every single job that undocumented immigrants are working today, our economy would still be weakened because we can't replace the 12 million consumers that buy those goods that we'd lose.
Why couldn't we replace those consumers?
Because we can't snap our fingers and spawn people in thin air that have money and want to spend it in the market. What do you mean? It's obvious.
So who are the consumers now?
Thank you so much for the journal. Who are the people that consume from American producers now?
Us, right?
What do you mean by us?
Like, American people are consumers.
American people and the 12 million undocumented immigrants that live in this country that directly contribute $400 to $500 billion to the GDP per year based upon the goods that they buy and consume. Those are the consumers that we wouldn't be able to replace. So our economy would still be weaker.
Valid. But still, I just feel like you should at least try to learn English. That's my whole contention. Like, that's it. That's my only problem.
Right. So I prove you wrong. I show you that your view here will hurt America, and you still don't care. Stop calling yourself America first. Stop calling yourself a patriot. Stop LARPing and acting like you actually care about the success of this country. Just put it on a fucking on a billboard on your chest saying that I'm prejudiced and I'm a bigot and I want to make this country weaker if it means I can express my prejudice and my bigotry. And you know, my favorite thing about bigots. Now I'll tell you this. My favorite thing about bigots is knowing that you will forever live an unhappy life because you will never get what you want. Okay? You will never get a country where everybody in it speaks English or assimilates to what you deem as American culture. You will never get a country where everybody isn't Mexican or from Latin America. You will never get what you want, Mexico, and you will forever be unhappy. And that is my favorite thing about bigots, knowing that you will forever be unhappy.
I'm pretty happy. I just don't like what's going on in the world right now. I speak a couple languages.
Nice, man. Was there anything else you want to go over?
Nah, that was it.
All right, we're going to move on to the next guest. Right. You know, so everybody, if you're curious why, when we're having conversations about immigration and mass deportation, I focus the economy. Okay, and I do so for a very specific reason. The reason why I focus the economy when I'm having these discussions about immigration is because there's no better way to show that these bigots don't actually care. All right? There's no better way to show it, because the ultimatum that I end up reaching with some of the people that I have these discussions with is that they have to advocate for America to be weaker and for people to be worse off just so they could push their bigotry forward, okay? And that is why I decide to kind of take this line of argumentation when we're having these conversations about immigration. Now,